College League of Legends. 235 schools, coming from coast to coast and everywhere in between. Now, just 16 remain, carrying the region's fiercest rivalries in their hearts.
Since then, I've hated that school.
And legends in their soul.
I know what I'm capable of, I know what my team is, and I know that we're going to perform when it matters, and when a lot of these other, top dogs are going to choke.
Phenomenal performance from the University of California. Back-to-back titles!
Now, all of their history, triumphs and adversity, teamwork and struggles, dedication and sacrifices, every step is leading to one final test.
One final test. 2 games to 2, RMC. We have gone 4 long, lengthy, winding games, and some of the players that you just saw in that video were in that video and are now here fighting for their competitive lives. Winnie said that his team will prove that they are the best when it matters most, and they need to do so here against an 80 carry on the side of Ole Miss, trying to defend his honor and bring honor to Ole Miss. He is one loss away from not being able to defend his back-to-back titles.
One final test, Yanni, and it's not about the pass or fail. We focus on not being eliminated today, but as you said, for some of these players, it's not just about not losing. It's about winning. Winnie, they're talking about going all the way to the end, all the way to the top. This is but a step that way. And for Shogo, he's not looking at, let's make top 6. Shogo's looking at winning it all as well. And in this game 5, Yanni, it comes down to just one last game. It's time for these players to step up, to not just pass the test, but to ace the test.
It's crazy to think, RMC, that at one time this series was 2-0 in favor of Ole Miss. It feels like a lifetime ago at this point in time. Ole Miss played really hard in game 3. Couldn't get it done. Game 4, they had a lead. They have kept their plucky attitude in fighting for every little bit that they're worth. And the question is, RMC, can they do it in game 5? The last best of 5 we saw yesterday that went to 5 games that threatened a reverse sweep. We saw the team up 2-0 St. Clair falter and fold under the pressure. Will Ole Miss do the same?
For Slew, once might be an accident. Twice is a trend. And I don't see why they couldn't do it a third time. It's up to Ole Miss to put a stop to this. And Yanni, let's start getting to the nitty-gritty a little bit, because Ole Miss, they opted for blue side. Every team has opted for blue side in their losses. But one thing to note is since Surdy started playing carries, he's got counter pick in both of those games. And I'm looking at Ole Miss right now saying, you can't do that. Like, stop giving him counter pick on these carries. The Vayne took over the game. The Olaf took over the game. Give Stray something that can stop Surdy from taking over the game.
Let me ask you something, RMC. Is there a world where we see Ole Miss come out and first ban top lane carry, second ban top lane carry, third ban top lane carry, and say, Darkwings, play whatever the hell you want. We're going to make sure that Surdy is a non-factor this game. Make him pick in the first half of the draft, because if he doesn't, ban a top lane carry 4, ban a top lane carry 5. Or do you stick with what worked earlier and go with a very solid, very balanced draft strategy?
Here's my problem, Manny. I don't know that you can ban out Surdy, even with 5 champions, right? Because we've already seen the Olaf come through. We've seen the Vayne come through. Yeah. We know he can play a mean Jax. So that feels like something you might have to ban, or it gets flexed away. We've not even seen his Rumble this series so far. And his Rumble was something that he's been spamming up to this point. 6 games of Rumble.
So many games.
Out of 8 games leading in to today. Twisted Fate, another champion that's been constantly banned away by one team or the other. Your Uncle Sam finally played it. Can you afford to give that over to Surdy? That puts us at what? Already 4 potential champions. Aatrox, Surdy's most played champion in solo queue, puts us at 5. There's just too many things for you to properly ban out Surdy. And that's why I'm not talking about banning him out. I'm talking about counter-picking him, making sure he doesn't get a champion that can just 1v5 and carry the whole game.
Yeah, you can't give him a champion like Olaf because Olaf especially, you just become CC immune. There are so many other champions that you can let him have and be like, well, we need to account for this. He will be a problem, but we have tools to stop it. Olaf is one of the champions that, yeah, we got the tools to stop it, but it just don't matter, man. I mean, he's going to run through us, throw some axes around, and have a great time.
Yeah, fair enough. And now for the side of Ole Miss, we talk about Surdy, being that monster right now for SLU, carrying the games. For Ole Miss, where's their carry, right? It's the Shogo show. Where is Shogo? And the Aphelios has been solid. I don't want to say that Shogo hasn't been performing because his numbers on the Aphelios has been really solid. He is the big major threat. But I feel like this is the same problem they kind of had up against Northwood, which was they're putting Shogo on 1v5 champions that will skill up and carry the game. Forget that. That's not how you want to play. Play for early. Give Shogo his champion. Give him Draven, man. Kellex literally made a video with Shogo's face over that champion. Take over the laning phase. Aaron, Shogo, it's not the best games all CLOL long has been on Kalista, on Lucian, or Shogo specifically on Draven. Take the game by the neck and drag it kicking or screaming.
Yeah, we'll see what the strategy is for Ole Miss here because hasn't been working the last couple of games. We'll see if they want to go for an oppressive lane. Remember that Kalista was taken away in Game 3, but was left available in Game 4. Ole Miss elected not to go toward it. Again, we're seeing mid lane bans come through, so it looks like they might be erring to the side of your strategy, RMC, and just try to get a counter pick available first.
And I'm curious as well, the idea for Ole Miss right now is you don't want to introduce too much volatility. If you change up the bans too much, you have no clue what SLU is about to slam, right? You want to kind of isolate that one variable, and to do that, you just kind of replicate the conditions as much as possible. Now, you should note as well, Ole Miss still did opt for blue side with the Varus ban, which I'm expecting to see come through from SLU. I don't know what first pick you want anymore. Skarner didn't cut it. The TF certainly wasn't worth it. And for your 80 carries, I don't know what is so first pick worthy at this point that you're going to be slamming it and stuff the Varus or Jinx.
Well, Varus is going to be taken off the table. I've got a feeling we'll see an insta-lock Kalista come in maybe after a little bit of deliberation because there's a lot of really nice combos that Shogo and Rhino like to pull off, but the jury is still out there. I mean, they can Lucian Nami game, but they're not typically Lucian Nami gamers, and we're seeing a first pick Hwei come in here from Ole Miss. No fear.
Why? I mean, we saw Uncle Sam play.
No, it's pronounced Hwei, not Hwai.
Consider my accent, Yanni, and my confusion, because right now it is why to me. We saw the Hwei game 1 for your Uncle Sam. It's good, but it didn't necessarily carry, and I don't know if denying it away from Darkwings is so necessary that we're first picking this champion. You can see Darkwing's more than happy to just pick up that Orianna, get some sort of ball delivery system later, Nautilus on the table, things like the Jarvan potentially could come through Sejuani that we saw when he played in Game 2. I think would be a great pickup potentially as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe they just go back to the Hwei because they're like, you know what, Uncle Sam popped off in the first game of the series on Hwei. We're going to try to get back to that. Seeing Aaron once again on Senna kind of hurts my heart, but I like the takeaway here. They're going to pick up the Nautilus, and now it's going to be Jarvan going over to your Uncle Sam.
Feels like they're trying to remove all those... Yeah, feels like they're trying to just remove away all these options for Darkwings there so that he doesn't have ball delivery options. There's still other things to come through. TK, of course, now that the Nautilus has been taken away. And I think, granted, Ole Miss did handle the TK Senna really, really well in Game 1. But I'm going to be honest, last game, it really wasn't about Aaron and Skytech. Right? It was all about that topside solo pick, that Olaf that took over the game. So going to the second phase of pick and bans right now, Ole Miss looking for AD carry, top lane, SLU, looking for your jungle and top lane. Now is when I want to see Ole Miss pinch the top lane pool, a little bit. And again, you might have to counter pick, you might have to blind pick, into the top side. I'm a little bit concerned about that.
Yeah, without question, that's going to be what's going to happen here. You may as well give it to Surdy. He's been the guy to try to take you to the promised land in the last 2 games. And of course, do keep in mind with this Senna Kench, maybe it's SLU at this point trying to bait Ole Miss in the lane swapping, right? We saw the last couple of games didn't really go the way they would have expected it to. Obviously, I believe it was last game was played a little bit more straight up, but I mean, I just really don't see it right now, and I think Ole Miss have shoehorned themselves into just going for it anyway. You saw they had executed it pretty nicely earlier in the series, and yesterday it was hard for Slew. We are going to see Vi come in here, so it's a great jungle pickup here for Winnie.
It is, and not just in terms of being able to gank your lanes, but the tried and true answer to Ole Miss has been shut down Shogo. And okay, that's the thing. You pick the Vi, single target. There's 180 carry that can nullify that. It is a Xayah. Now keep in mind though, Xayah, great team fighting, but when she's playing backwards, right? A lot of her damage comes from the feathers and the positioning of those feathers. So if Shogo ends up playing on open ground, it might be a little bit tougher to navigate this AD carry, and Stray stealing away the Rumble.
Blind pick Rumble for Stray.
Okay.
It's been a champion that he's had a lot of success on so far this year, and now it's going to be out of the back pocket. I don't care that you're not playing a tank. Give me Scissor Lady. I want Gwen.
You know what? We talked about Serdi playing a crap ton of Rumble so far in CLOL. This has to be his answer, right? If you play it, you got to know what it's got a rough time into. Kind of like it, Hallowed Missile all the time can negate the damage that comes through from that Rumble Equalizer. Your skill is going to be massive. This feels like another Olaf-esque champion, where you can literally 1v5 if you get a good enough lane. But Rumble on the other side for Stray. We've been crying, begging for carries to come through from him. This is a straight up carry. No tank here. This ain't no Skarner. And I love the setup that Stray does have. You've got the hot pot combo, you know, with that J4 on Icelandic hero. With Rhino as well, with the Nautilus, it's really, really good solid engage, and your Uncle Sam can pull up with a lot of AoE damage as well. So for Ole Miss, I'm liking the team fight if you can execute it right, if you can peg SLU into that tight little hole and then just unload all that damage.
It's not just a hot pot. What happens when the Spiraling Despair comes through? What happens when the Featherstorm comes through and the Blade Caller? It's more than just hot in that pot. It is deadly in that pot. You are going to go down. You will have no shot at surviving. If Ole Miss get the dream fight early, that could just be enough to propel them to the end of the game. Just the momentum that you'd get off of that. Think of the kills you'd get off of that. But on the other side, Slew. A lot of really good pick potential on this side. The Orianna Shockwave to kind of tie the room together.
Yeah, actually, the Orianna Shockwave, it feels like they had to pivot away from it kind of thing. Like, it was a good setup initially. Now, hey, if you can catch Ole Miss all together, great. Shockwave is always going to be reliant and good. But if anything, I'm actually looking for Slew to kind of replicate their success in Game 3, where they didn't actually group up in team fight, and you didn't split up as much as possible, try and cause that chaos, because we talk about the strength of Ole Miss's Wombo combo. Now, that Wombo combo, you get one shot at it. And if you can all kind of split up and make sure nobody gets caught, or minimal amounts of people get caught, you can come back in and try and roll the rest of that fight. And because of that, the Tahm Kench is going to be critical. That's huge to be able to get out either Darkwings or Aaron out of the fight. Serdi can dash over walls. He's got the Hallowed Miss as well. We talked about it. Can negate a lot of that equalizer damage on himself. And for Winnie, Winnie's the one who I think is going to have a bit of a tough time, because Winnie wants to go in. I'm looking at the rest of this roster right now. Serdi might want to go in. So you got maybe a dive buddy if he's feeling up to it on the day.
Well, he's got to be. And the biggest issue that I have here is that how does this Gwen doesn't have any enabling, right? Nobody is really good at enabling this Gwen on the side of Slew. So this is going to be a Serdi solo carry performance for the ages. He's going to have to kind of do it all himself. RMC here on Summoner's Rift for our final game of the evening. Do or die. Put up or shut up. One final test. Winner moves on. Loser goes home.
And no cheating this time. We're not seeing lane swaps coming through. Everybody seems to be happy, saying that we are going to stake this on our skill that we've been practicing for this entire year. None of this cheese. We're going for the 2v2s. Aaron and Skytech walking up aggressively, though, knowing that Xayah level 1, very, very weak.
I think Ole Miss, they're going to need to show us something early. Recall the last best of 5 we had yesterday that ended in a reverse sweep. St. Clair, like I said earlier, they came into the last game and absolutely fell apart. We need to see something that shows us that the Ole Miss mental, which has been questioned in the past, is still as strong as ever.
Fair enough, and they showed us amazing mental in Game 1, recovering from their sweep yesterday. Now the question is, can they adapt fast enough within a 5-game series? Some of their play has gotten sloppier as we've moved on. We talked about it last game. Game 1 from Ole Miss had some really good macro. Last game had the the semblance of good macro initially, but it did feel like it got away a little bit from Ole Miss. I don't want to see that this time. With a comp like this, especially, you do need to be disciplined and make sure you go in together.
Something to watch out for in this bottom lane is that Zaya Nautilus does actually have some kill pressure against Senna Kench early on. It's just a matter of who hits level 2 first and if you can get enough damage down. And it looks like Ole Miss won't be able to do that. They will at least at level 2.
Yeah, they're pushing in. Senna, unfortunately, not the best at being able to push that up. And now they're taking their time with this particular push here. Aaron and Skytech just have to sit under turret and kind of wait for something to happen. Ideally, stay behind your minions if you get hit by hook and dragged out of range. I don't think it'd be an insta-kill, but it'd force it back.
Take a look on the top side of the map, the mini-map real quick. Sturdy is pushed all the way up into Stray and has a pretty sizable CS lead. You can see where the junglers are headed. Vi to the bottom side, Jarvan to the top side.
And we'll have to see if Shogo and Rhino actually remember to put a ward this time. I think it was game 1, where Winnie just walked into lane early and just absolutely punished them for that aggression. And the ward does come through from Rhino, actually pretty deep in as well. Should be able to spot Winnie. On the other hand, Icelandic, unspotted for now. There is a ward in the pixel bush from Surdy, and the wave has bounced.
A very solid ward to ensure that Surdy will keep himself safe because only Ghost and Teleport, no flash available. You do not want to get behind if you are on the scary champion top. You've told your team to trust in you. You can't be the one to let them down. I'm sure the weight of the team, the hope that your teammates have in you is weighing heavily on the minds of these 5 players on each team.
I don't know, for Surdy, sounds like another day in the office, man. this guy just carries whenever he needs to. I think back to that Vayne. I think back to that Olaf. Icelandic did get spotted on a ward, though, so Surdy should know this is gonna happen.
Surdy is well aware, but I don't know if there's anything he's going to be able to do about it. He's going to be able to pop the Ghost for right now. Ignites down on him. Surdy goes down. Ooh. First blood for Stray.
And here's the thing, Yanni. You're talking about the fact that Surdy's running Ghost Teleport. Keep in mind, Stray isn't. You're running the Ignite. You are looking for kills, and because of that, Surdy, I don't know, I felt it's a little bit greedy, not respecting the fact that, hey, J-Force in the area. Uncle Sam!
And Uncle Sam just a little too far forward. Once again getting punished by the jungler of Slew.
Okay, I like this from both Winnie and Icelandic Hero right now. Both of them were getting some early ganks off, really clean ganks coming off as well. Flashes, they're not hesitating to use them, and things are still pretty even, Yanni, despite what we just saw. I mean, it's early games yet, and they're not able to really leverage that extra gold.
I love the Boots of Swiftness pickup for Stray. Listen, if you can have your flamethrower just hit people much faster, like look at how fast he is when he's doing it. It's crazy. How are you supposed to hit him if you're Surdy?
A hop, skip, and a jump. I mean, you got one dash, kind of. So you get like one shot to kind of trade back. No, you're right, Yanni. I love the item buy. It's really good for controlling the lane, especially when you've got so much early damage. And you contrast that to Surdy just picking up the Dark Seal. It's some nice stats, but Gwen really needs her first legendary item to really come online and actually be able to trade this out.
Stray trying to get a little bit closer, wants to get that empowered flame spitter. You can see Gwen burning away, her skirt's on fire, and has to quickly put it out.
Liar, liar? Is that where we're going with this one, Yanni?
No, absolutely not. I mean, Gwen wears a skirt and it was lit on fire. That's literally it. And listen,
okay,
not everything's a joke with me, all right?
Part of me wants to say everything is a joke with me, but this ain't no joke. This is that final test, and Rhino landing the hook.
Luke goes down on the Skytech. He'll have that gray health heal him up a little bit, but you can see the pressure that Shogo and Rhino are exuding on this bottom lane. Feels like it's only a matter of time before they find their first kill.
And this is why I kind of didn't like the shenanigans. Spiraling Despair goes down onto Dark Wings.
Nice combo.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that chugged a lot harder than I thought. Uncle Sam, the shockwave from Dark Wings just used to wave clear right now. That's not looking for any kill threat, but it will give Icelandic Hero the license, the freedom to go for these Void Grubs uncontested.
Grub's going to go their way. Their team can utilize Grubs pretty solidly. I wouldn't say it's the most fantastic use, but you are more than happy to have him if you've got the champions on the side of Ole Miss. And so far, though, things have been relatively quiet outside of jungle action and that little tiff in the mid lane.
Yeah, and going back to those Void Grubs, Yanni, Ole Miss, might actually be able to find a lot of pressure with how they've been playing, because every lane is pushing up and they're actually chipping this away. So normally I fully agree with you, but Ole Miss, the players themselves, we're questioning, hey, have they mental reset it? Are they in a good position? Right now, Shogo and Rhino at least are looking amazing. Stray is looking dominating as well.
They spotted out Winnie here. Aaron trying to get close, using the minions to try to keep himself protected as Rhino. He still has his flash available if need be. And yeah, I mean, listen, you got to keep him honest, RMC, all right?
Yeah, 100%. Rhino was just making sure that he doesn't have to fight into the entire minion wave and was daring Winning to come at me, right? Like, for you, Aaron's out of mana, Skytech's low on health. This isn't a 3v2, it's a 2v2. Dragon started by Sleuth, Ole Miss looking to contest.
Uncle Sam in the area, Icelandic Hero in the area. The health bars are favoring Ole Miss. The hook goes down. Shogo is sequestered off on the side. He's all alone. Aaron flashing toward him, forcing him away. Winnie is low. Uncle Sam's trying to get close. Dark Wings is going to be the target. He's been rooted up. Icelandic Hero, the Cataclysm. And Skytech says, my friend, run away. Run away, my friend. As Dark Wings is able to live.
I salute you, Skytech. That is the support play. Great shockwave coming through from
It's
Dark
not
Wings.
enough.
Is it enough?
It's not enough! A fantastic defensive shockwave, but the offense from Ole Miss gets it done.
The chase comes through, and Ole Miss right now is firing on all cylinders, Yanni. The way they played that, they sacked the dragon knowing it was bait. They just wanted SLU on the hook, and now straight in that top lane. Still has flash, by the way, so could still look for the re-engage onto Surdy. Surdy had to burn Ghost and ult just to stay alive.
Well, RMC, if there was any question of the mentality of Ole Miss, they have silenced the doubters. They are looking great to start this game off. A near 2,000 gold lead, but as we have seen many times in this series, no gold lead has truly been safe. So Aaron is up here to support Surdy, but Icelandic Hero is up here too.
Yeah, I gotta tell if this is real gold or just pyrite. Aaron and Winnie are up here. Everybody's congregating up. Rhino's coming too.
Icelandic Hero's like, yeah, we got this play, but everybody's up here, and Aaron is going to fall. Winnie's going to be the next target, and Stray will manage to stay alive, and Ole Miss come up huge, but no, it's Dark Wings from behind. He's able to get a kill, but now he's stuck in a bad spot. The question is, can he put on his boogie shoes and find a way out? And it looks like he will.
Sam with the late rotate, but the threat of the way artillery range is forcing everybody back. Surdy can't get the recall. They have to walk all the way back out. This is a huge minion wave that will be denied away, and I'm curious if Ole Miss actually go in and try and take more plates while they're at it.
And by the way, the entire time this is happening, Shogo has been solo farming in the bottom lane, getting solo EXP. The question is, can Slew take advantage? Aaron is here. Shogo, no ultimate available. A good flash route, but still summoners down.
Yeah, actually, a little bit surprised that Shogo had to flash that early, but is able to get to safety, and that's the important thing right now. We get to see the gold difference, and my goodness. Okay, first of all, I know Shogo shouldn't be compared to Aaron's gold, but that's still a big gap, and Skytech's really isn't comparable either. And in the top lane, straight 1,300 up from 30. That's going to be significant, because not only does Gwen need first item usually, but Rumble's the better team fighter. So I expect to see Ole Miss actually look to contest these second Drakes, or if you're going to give that away, I need to see 3+ kills at least if you're using Dragon as bait.
And one thing that you had been saying all series long, you want to see Stray on a carry. First we wanted to see Surdy, then we wanted to see Stray, and Ole Miss have been rewarded with the LLA top laner coming up huge so far. Teleport coming in, and now Winnie's going to try to turn the fight. Surdy with the needlework is here. Tom Kench is far away, but Stray has run out of space, and he falls just as Grubs spawn.
No equalizer, no flash, no escape for Stray, and with that Rumble, with that power point down, Ole Miss not unfortunately able to contest for these second set of Void Grubs. But as you pointed out before, Yanni, all this is happening, Shogo's a farming.
Shogo might be stomped out in a second here because now there's enough vision, and Darkwing's Shockwave would be huge. Trying to get away as Rhino, but now Shogo's cut off. His ultimate is not up. He does have Ghost. And all of a sudden, Surdy has shown up, and this is bad news. Shockwave coming through, and try as he might, Shogo goes down, and it's a shutdown to Darkwings.
Hey, it's kind of close, but as you pointed out, close doesn't quite cut it. Surdy into the bot lane, able to pick up a kill or an assist, pardon me, as well. That's going to be nice for him, and this is where it gets dicey for Ole Miss, Yanni. When Ole Miss is able to play slow and structured to their pace, it's gone well for them. But in the last two games, it falls apart when Slew starts to accelerate the pace of the game, when Surdy starts to get involved all across the map. And this is the test for Ole Miss. Can you slow things back down into your pace?
They need to be able to. Honestly, Slew has been really good with the cross-map plays after the first couple of games. It's, them making a play up in the top lane, taking down Stray, Surdy showing up in the bottom lane, causing a lot of problems. We're really trying to mitigate what Stray has been able to do this game. The problem for Surdy here is that Stray is just perma up EXP for right now.
Yeah, from that good early game. Aaron, though, in Surdy's back pocket. It looks like they're trying to bait the dive out a little bit. I think you just baited out the equalizer. That's good enough. Maybe get a heal from Aaron, and then let Aaron get back elsewhere, because for Ole Miss, Yanni, I'm waiting for Shogo to come online. He, to me, is still the star of the show. He's been very quiet thus far. But from my experience, anytime Shogo isn't crushing somebody in the early game, he's holding out for that mid game. And with the Kraken Slayer complete, Shogo is going to start hurting in these team fights.
He's got no summoners, but he does have his Feather Storm up, and it looks like Ole Miss is going to converge quickly on this dragon, and why not? Darkwing's taking a lot of damage here. That Spiraling Despair going to go down. Uncle Sam doing what he can to just keep him away from that dragon. You can see the Slew pings up toward the grubs.
Yep, we just trade. Hey, Dragon, for Void Grubs now, or for Herald, pardon me. Now, keep in mind, Ole Miss did manage to pick up... Oh, it's not even Herald yet, pardon me. Wow, they just left one. I was going to say, Ole Miss actually managed to pick up the Void Grub earlier, so Void Mites will spawn for them. They don't care about giving up that last Void Grub, and for Slew, that is very, very cold and scant comfort.
Not in the slightest. Uncle Sam's in trouble. Cease and desist goes down. They throw the kitchen sink at Martini La Panini as he falls.
Honestly, probably overkill. Shogo able to pick up turret on the bot side in exchange, though, so gold still favored Ole Miss, but it's a scary thought for Uncle Sam, because that combo we just saw, Yanni, that's on cooldown. Anytime cease and desist is up, Winnie can just do that, and unless you're already under turret, you're pretty much dead to rights.
Yeah, you have to be very careful if you're Ole Miss. You had to have seen what happened to your teammate and go, well, I'm certainly glad I'm not that guy, because Uncle Sam just got absolutely blasted into outer space. And now Darkwings has 3 kills. We've been talking a lot about, oh, this is Stray's game. We're waiting for Shogo to come online. Darkwings had a really nice game on Talia where he impacted the map. But now, with Darkwings having 3 kills, it's time for him to have teamfight impact with these shockwaves. Remember, we said the shockwave is meant to tie the room together for this team comp.
Yeah, and especially for Winnie as well, getting the extra shielding if Darkwings is ahead is going to be massive for him to be able to access that backline, especially since I expect to see Shogo be able to use the Feather Storm to dodge out the initial burst of damage. That shockwave, that follow-up, is really what I'm looking at to try and shut down the Ole Miss AD carry.
Well, they'll certainly have some opportunities too, but it'll be a little bit harder because Shogo's Ghost and Flash are up. But what's not up is this Rift Herald, because it's down to about 1,000 HP. No contest from Slew. So we'll see if Ole Miss can effectively use this Rift Herald.
For Ole Miss as well, topside turret's almost down. Stray, the constant pressure he's been putting up, the fact that Surdy hasn't necessarily been wanting to lane into that power spike that Stray has with that Leandries, does mean that Herald should and can be committed into the mid lane. And the mid turret, traditionally the hardest to get, with an Equalizer and Herald in pocket, eminently doable.
No, not the grub.
Are we going to think that those Void Mites are good shot?
No. That's only when it crashes into the turret. And Darkwings may get crashed here. Great dodge of the shockwave. And Darkwings is still alive. He will finally go down. Shogo is able to get out from under the turret. But here comes Surdy from the side. Can they protect him? No. It's Aaron getting the kill. And now Stray's going to be the next target. Surdy not able to do enough. It's 2 kills for Slew, and they only give up 1.
Okay, so Slew able to answer back in a big way. Turret doesn't fall either to that Herald charge, and we are past 14 minutes, so no plates. It's Turret
Herald's still in the pocket.
We want that gold. Oh, that wasn't even... That was just... Wait, was it Void Mites? There were that many of them?
Was it? I don't even know anymore, man. I gotta be honest with you.
I'm blind, okay. I'm so...
All I know is it was crazy, right? And the wildest part is, I thought they had Darkwings dead to rights. They play against that shockwave perfectly. And yet, he lived with just a sliver.
You know what? Now, okay, that one, I blame Stray a little bit. When you set up a hot pot, you got to set it up nicely. It's got to be right on top of the flame there. If you kind of skew it to the side, then part of it doesn't get cooked properly. So when Stray put down the flame into the hot pot there, Darkwings, he was on the cold side of the pot, actually dodged a lot of that damage initially.
He didn't turn his stove on. You know,
It
when you're at hot pot, you have to
slightly.
turn your own stove on.
Yeah, he tried. I think it's just, you know, Darkwings got on the warming side of things. You know, he didn't get properly cooked.
Yeah, his goose was eventually cooked from there, but ultimately they were able to get 2 kills back, and all of a sudden this gold lead is tightening just a little bit, but this mid turret still standing for now. And you see the teleport coming in. They had a feeling that Ole Miss was trying to make this move again.
Yeah, I want to see the Herald Charge from Ole Miss this time. 1, so that I feel better about completely missing the fact that wasn't Herald Charge. And 2, that turret's already really, really low. If you get the Herald Charge off, effectively there is no turret there, and Ole Miss could actually look for the team fight on neutral ground. And with the damage they have, with all their ults up and available, barring the Featherstorm, of course, they would be able to win that. Darkwings might be 3-1 and 3, but as long as you don't group up, that Shockwave can't wipe you all out.
Oh, he stole it from him. That was mean. I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised that everybody elected to back here before this dragon. So Winnie is soloing the dragon right now while Ole Miss is shoving down the mid lane. Rift Herald is going to get dropped here. Winnie had no assistance with this dragon. A really disconnected play coming out of Slew. Yeah, they're going to lose their mid turret for it.
I don't think Dragon is what either team is really caring about. It was about cracking that mid lane outer turret, and because of that, both teams wanted to reset, make sure they've got the gold for that play. And now that the turret's down, Yanni, Ole Miss, they've got the inside track on this dragon. They've got the vision as well. Slew has to be very careful how they approach this.
Rhino, Hex Flash, Hook. Winnie's the target. Winnie is devoured, but he's devoured into the cage. This is a problem. But who's alive? It's Shogo on the back line, able to pick up 1 kill. Dawning Shadow going to go down for shielding. But look at Surdy. Surdy's very healthy. Stray has to flash away. Shogo's going to root up damn near all of them, but the rest of his team's not there to support him. He's getting slowed. He's getting killed by the scissors. Surdy is leading the charge. Uncle Sam is going to be the next target. He's going to fall too, and it's Slew taking 4, giving 2.
Shogo and Surdy, Yanni, 2 of our most mechanical players, and they ain't done yet. Rhino should be fine. He's so far back right now. And in this matchup right now, between hands, between Shogo, between Surdy, Surdy is coming out ahead. His Gwen is having so much more impact right now in these fights. And I want to highlight too, Shogo is up items. He's up CS, he's up farm, but Surdy is somehow hitting harder.
It's just a situation where Shogo was unprotected in this fight. Ole Miss really tends to play around their AD carry, and in this game, they chose to play around Stray a little bit more. And that's how it's been with the fights. Leading the charge, it's Rhino, it's Icelandic Hero, and it's Stray. That means that if you're not able to get back, Shogo is unaccounted for. And if Slew's accounting for him, you're like, where's our AD carry? Oh my god, we left him alone.
And the thing is, you picked the Xayah. That isn't technically the wrong formula, but you're right, the math isn't adding up. Yanni, you should be playing around your Rumble when Stray's got the lead, when you've picked this J4. But unfortunately, we talked about this, right? Slew, they don't want to fight front to back. They don't want a nice organized fight. They're coming in from every which way, all these different angles. And unfortunately for Stray, the Equalizer finds one target, and then that's it. You're done. After that, it becomes so much harder for them to play the fight. Same thing with Icelandic right now. And Slew, they're taking great advantage of that. Ole Miss, the pressure's on them to be able to catch multiple people into the same area and get your AoE off on the majority of Slew's team.
I think that their idea would have worked, but Skytech was right there with the Devour.
True.
And you just rescue Winnie from any scenario. Heck, you even spit him into the Cataclysm, and you just don't care. Everything's fine. Take a look in the bottom lane. Surdy clearing things, but look, Uncle Sam spots this out. Winnie feared, but it doesn't matter. They layer everything on him. How many kitchen sinks does Slew have in their back pocket?
All the kitchen sinks, they get open and flying
Look
right
at this.
now.
Look at this
Surdy just pushes
RMC.
the entire time. Aaron as well, sniped from halfway across the map, so they've still got pressure mid. They've still got control at this point. And Ole Miss, like, you've got one way to play, Ole Miss. you've only got a team fight. You need to find the team fight. You can't be letting SLU dictate the terms.
They're completely frazzled, RMC. They have no answer for what's going on across the map. And look at this. The gold has flipped. Ole Miss just moments ago was up 1,500. And now they trail 1,500. And this top outer is going to go down to Dark Wings.
What happened, Yanni? Ole Miss, they look set to take all the enemy outer turrets, get full control over the river, and everything has flipped. Much like this series. As SLU, let's not forget, started this series 0-2, and we're now looking at the second reverse sweep in all of CLOL history right now. Yanni, I don't know what magic you've cast, what dark curse you've managed to put on these games, but it's working.
Listen, I am just a purveyor of great games of League of Legends. These teams not only have the skill level, they have the talk behind them. And in this game, in this series, leads have gone one way or another. It's been a pendulum back and forth. There is still a world where Ole Miss swings it right back into their favor.
True, that is very fair. For all that SLU has looked in control of this game, they're only about 1,000 gold out.
They're going to try to make a pick here. Aaron is forced all the way out. Another clutch Devour from Skytech keeps Winnie alive. And Surdy's in the middle of everybody. But look at the damage on the other side. Shogo trying to get in there. Surdy very low. Surdy is still alive, but a great flash from Shogo takes him out. Backside of the fight. Aaron is low. Aaron falls. And now it's Darkwing's full HP. But he can't get on top of Shogo. A chaotic fight sees Ole Miss take it 3 for 2.
Raid boss down, and we said it before, it's Shogo versus Surdy. Shogo literally getting the kill and winning out the fight this time. Rhino has to be careful. A lot of low health bears on the side of Ole Miss.
Just trying to keep him at arm's length for right now, and the gold lead is less than 1,000 RMC. Dark Wings really wasn't able to get into that fight, though. You could imagine a shockwave onto multiple targets with his team around would have been deadly.
I love this game. You know, we're just talking about the fact that, hey, Ole Miss 8 out of it, yet they still have ways back in, and the teams demonstrate just that for us. If you can isolate Surdy, take him out quickly, right now he is the big threat from SLU. And for SLU as well, they have to be careful fighting in these tight corridors. We talked a lot about the hot pot combo, about J4 artificially creating terrain with that Cataclysm to set up Equalizer. Well, if you're in a tight corridor, Stray doesn't need ice landing. He can just lay down the red carpet himself.
Yeah. Very, very true, RMC. Wow, what a game this has turned out to be. It has been so tight throughout. Just back and forth, and the next fight can occur in a minute around the Dragon. So we're going to have a bit of a pause. There's been a couple of tech issues here and there that have cropped up, but nothing that has prevented the players from actually playing the game and playing at peak performance.
You know what, Yanni, this is a technical pause, not for the players, but for all of us and the viewers here watching the game. I feel like I need time to kind of catch my breath because
I gotta slouch my shoulders a little bit, you know?
Actually, generally, yeah, my shoulders are actually kind of tight. I didn't even notice that until you said it. Yeah, because the game, the stakes are so high, right? And keep in mind, guys, this is a lower top 8 matchup. We're not even the top 4 yet, but this feels like a grand finals match, like a top 4 match, and for great reason. And the way the teams are playing as well. Nobody's giving a quarter, nobody's giving an inch. Any pause, any break we get, any sort of lowering of the action, it's just them setting up for the next big play. So it just feels like there's no time to rest, and I can't even imagine for the players, right? We're watching this. And we're getting tensed up, Yanni. We're getting tired. The players are playing these games. They feel each and every mistake tons times more than we do.
The gravity, the pressure that is on these players, these programs, these storied programs, the one of SLU and on the other side, Ole Miss, who are just kicking themselves off last year and already attracting top-tier talent. So much pressure on all of them. This is where the term sweaty gamer comes from, RNC. When you got a really good competitive game that you're playing and you're just starting to feel the heat and you just start sweating just a little bit. I bet that both of these teams are dripping buckets worth right now, trying to make sure that their team lives to fight another day.
That the pressure? Or is that just Stray's equalizer?
Well, it depends how close you are to it. If you're Dark Wings and you're a little away from it, you know, you may be a little bit cool. But if you're a little too close to it, you may need some antiperspirant.
Fair enough. And you know what? With that equalizer as well, with the heat it's bringing, the fun thing too with a Rumble is Rumble technically falls off as the game goes on. You know, people start building enough tank items, they are able to survive the damage, you kind of peak with the damage. But with the champions the teams have selected as well, we're not seeing too many true tanks come through. So that Rumble equalizer is going to hurt all the way through, and that's what's keeping the game so tense, right? One good team fight from either of these teams can just swing the game. I don't care if you're down 5,000 gold, Yanni. If you find the right engage, if you find the right team fight, that gold's just going to swing just like that.
Yeah, and some of these equalizers have been pretty solid, but I think we need to see Cataclysm equalizer combos, the hotbot combo, they're starting to hit 3 people, right? You need to be also hitting the Tahm Kench on top of it because he's clearly going to save somebody. Ole Miss is they've either realized it and they're just doing it anyway to force the Devour out, but they need to do something to keep Tahm Kench away. Do it when he's not around. Try to catch them when he's not nearby, because if you get a pick that way, it opens the door for so much more. And for Slew, keep grouped together, keep grouped as 4, have Gwen go split push. It has been a fantastic job by Surdy making plays happen in fights and going out and split pushing and getting a bunch of individual gold in his pocket after the early game he had to deal with.
Yeah, for Slew, group up, but keep social distance, because the AoE that comes through from Ole Miss would absolutely wreck them if they're bundled up too tight. But I agree, and that's why we keep saying it's Shogo versus Surdy right now. Surdy's split push is unmatched, and Straight had full control in that 1v1 early in the laning phase. That has changed since then. We're seeing Surdy now be able to kind of match that 1v1, and more importantly, if Surdy can hold Straight to the side lane, can maintain that rumble in the 1v1, the rest of Slew are more than happy with it. That rumble, if we're saying Darkwing's Orianna ties together Slew, I'd argue that Stray's rumble ties together Ole Miss. Without it, the damage isn't quite there.
Well, we've had a moment to gather our thoughts, and immediately we're going to start a fight here. Teleport coming in. Oh my, here we go. Knockup going to land onto Skytech. Dueling teleport coming through for Darkwings. He's got the ball available. Skytech going to get hit with a Spiraling Despair.
Oh, that's the chunk.
Icelandic hero looking to move in. That gray health is going to do Skytech a lot of good. The Cataclysm falls. Here comes the equalizer, and Skytech has to get out of there. Winnie forced off on the side. Surdy trying to needlework away. He dodges out on the hook. Needlework still not landing. Ole Miss push off Slew.
One day Yanni will get a great hot pot, but this is not that day, or at least that fight was not the right fight. On to Skytech, and Skytech immediately just takes the Abyssal Voyage out to safety. That's it. Ole Miss still with the pressure right now, pushing up.
Old Skytech going to be coming in, and he's going to be full HP when he has cease and desist available, and he wants to see Uncle Sam getting blown up, and he goes down. Dawning Shadow coming through. Shogo on the back line trying to stay alive, but it's Icelandic hero falling on the front side. It's a 5v3. Shogo is trying to do what he can. The roots come out, but the health bars are still looking good for Slew.
Shogo's cutting back immaculately right now. That's what Zaya wants to do, but Slew are not taking the bait. They're going in there, they're causing disruption, and then they're backing off and resetting, this time onto Baron Yanni. 25 minutes. Ole Miss going to be able to pick up Drake, but it's a Cloud Drake, and Slew just do not care.
Unfortunately for Ole Miss, they're picking up Drake, but Slew looks like they're picking up Kendrick right now. They have the Genji Baron buff, and they have priority in the game. Up 3,000 gold. It is their time to make a play.
Okay, they're picking up Kendrick. They better be dropping some fire right now. I don't care that Rumble's on the other side. Slew, with this push, what can they find? And Slew right now has been the masters of kind of punishing Ole Miss for the engage. Every time Ole Miss is looking for some sort of play, Slew absorb it and then look for the counter punch. When you've got the Baron, you don't have that option anymore because you're the team that's pushing. And I want to see Slew be on the offensive. What can you manufacture? Oh,
well, Aaron
Icelandic hero?
Aaron's really squishy, but Icelandic hero is completely caught. The Cataclysm goes down, and it's starting to feel like RMC. We could be seeing a reverse sweep. They're going to fight.
Oh my goodness,
they're going to fight anyway. Here we go. Aaron forced off, shut down onto Skytech. Who's the next target? They go Golden, trying to get away as Darkwing. Cease and desist down onto Shogo. Shogo's the target. Shogo shut down. Here comes Surdy, pushing forward, and he's going to be forced out. Stray is going to be rooted down, and Slew, they keep counterpunching.
Yeah, in the first place, why are Ole Miss giving them something to counterpunch? Yeah, I don't know, heard the smacking sounds after that first fight? Literally, here I am saying, Slew, Can they be aggressive? Can they actually push in with this composition? And Ole Miss was like, no problem, we'll give you the opening that you are looking for. Icelandic going in on that play when you're behind. And guys, look, Genji burn buff. It not only buffs your minion, it does give you more AP and AD. So while they're wearing that buff, Slew is actually stronger. Icelandic should not be making those sort of plays without his entire team behind him. Should not be making those plays, period. And then Shogo after that? Shogo Featherstone 4. That's why it wasn't available when Winnie was like, hey, I'm here. I've got cease and desist. You already killed somebody, but I can now kill you.
This is ridiculous, RMC. This series has been one to remember, and it's not over yet. Shogo has done everything he can to try to keep himself alive and keep his team in it. He's even got a Hex Drinker.
Well, if he's going to be using the Featherstorm aggressively, he's going to need it. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. Surdy is doing a lot of sustained damage, and Slew now, with those advantages, they are pushing in. They get yet another inner turret. Surdy still pressuring in the mid lane.
The Genji Baron buff doing wonders for the side of Slew, and if you're part of the Ole Miss faithful, you have to have a nervous stomach. You saw this happen yesterday if you were checking out the coverage. We may see history repeat itself in back-to-back days, which really amazes me, RMC. The fight that all of these teams have. What a year for double elimination in CLOL. We talked about it earlier, but really think about it as the teams are backing here. How much we have so much crazy high-level play, man. Like, so many teams are just playing at such a high level. It's so inspirational.
And this is why. This is the superior format. And I love the fact that, you know, in CL 2023, in CLOL's past, Yanni, I'm not even sure we'd have enough teams to really justify this double elimination format. It felt like even in the top 8, sometimes there's a pretty big gap. But look at this. This is top 8 right now, and the gap is kind of small. We're getting such high quality games. And once again, I want to highlight the fact that this was not a matchup I expected to be seeing here in the lower top 8. This should be higher. The teams are still delivering. As much as Slew is outscaling, as much as Surdy's being a monster, Ole Miss is still threatening right now. Like I said, 5k down, I don't care. You've got a Rumble, they don't have a tank. You could still turn the game. Icelandic Hero could still land the most amazing ultimate. Shogo could still pop off. We ain't done just yet, Yanni.
Remember what I said earlier, RMC, Ole Miss never met a fight they didn't like. And right now, down 4,000 gold, but with 3 dragons in their back pocket at the 30-minute mark, with Shogo on 4 items, they will take those odds.
Yeah, we're still looking. Dragon comes up in 1 minute. The teams don't even... Dragon is whatever. The point is, Dragon right now is a bell for these teams to look for the fight. And while Ole Miss might have met a fight that they don't like, Slew right now is stronger. They know it. And they too are looking for their angles, albeit with a lot more patience. They're not going to throw their lead. They want to make sure that they get the proper flanks, that they bait out the right spells first.
Baiting the spells has been really, really important in these fights, RMC. There have been so many times where Ole Miss, they are the ones who go first. In Slew say, we have taken no damage. You have thrown everything you have and we have taken no damage. We're totally fine with that. Yep. Ole Miss need to make a big play happen. What is going on here? Shogo's coming the wave.
Yeah, Ole Miss is trying to get into position for this Baron. That's kind of what they're looking for in a minute. Like we said, the Dragon, they don't really care about. So I kind of like this from Ole Miss. You get all the vision down to facilitate a pick. Because so far, when you just try and brute force the 5v5, it hasn't worked. Slew has too many escape options. We touch on the Halo Miss. We touch on Skytech's ability to just devour somebody to safety. So instead, if you can maybe find one person, burst them out first, and then maybe try and play the numbers advantage, I think that's actually a really good adaptation from Ole Miss.
Top inner turret goes down. Ole Miss gets a little something back. It's only a 3,000 gold differential now. One thing to watch out for, RMC, double Zonias on the mid and top lane carries for Slew. This is going to be very difficult for Ole Miss to actually nail these guys down.
I'm just waiting for GAs to start coming through from like Aaron and Winnie as well at that point. Okay, at that point, maybe the 5k gold lead does matter, and Ole Miss actually will start to fall apart because they are still very burst-oriented with their composition. And, you know, Yanni, it's a great shout out as well because it frees Skytech now to save that Devour for Aaron. And it can also be used to bait out spells from Darkwing, from Surdy as well.
Blind hook by Rhino going in for that one.
He wants that.
Here we go. Rhino is very low as Surdy is leading the charge. It's a 5v4. Season is destined to go on top of Icelandic Hero. He's going to fall next. There's not much Shogo can do. Stray gets hit up for a lot of damage. Uncle Sam's gone golden. Shogo is desperately firing feathers at multiple members of SLU. It's a 5v2, and he still likes those odds. He's at full HP. He's trying desperately. Flash forward. He's getting poked. He drops his ultimate. Great Devour. Surdy cleans him up. Stray is the last one standing, and he takes a blast cone to what's can't even be described as safety, because Winnie will be the one to chase him down.
And that won't be the clean ace. Rhino's actually respawned after all this action. Stray just buying more time, but Yanni, Surdy finally getting it. And for SLU, Shogo was immaculate. He was amazing. He held 1v5, but SLU has 5 players who are playing as well as Shogo is right now.
SLU is firing on all cylinders. Both teleports used here to secure this Baron. And once again, Icelandic Hero and the rest of Ole Miss can only watch because all SLU sees is purple.
Purple and red. A lot of red after that last fight. Yanni, the whole river is running full of it, and now SLU get to push in as well. Last time they got the Baron buff, they took out all the turrets outside of Ole Miss's base. This time, they actually get to set up a siege to make this play. And for Ole Miss, this kind of feels like the last stand. I know, yes, there's still Nexus turrets they can play under, 2 of those turrets to boot. But that choke point around an inhibitor turret, if they lose one, it's so easy for SLU to then begin pressuring the others with the super minions, with the Genji Baron buff.
Keep in mind that Aaron has rapid fire cannon and probably has a lot of stacks of absolution. So SLU actually has a siege. You need to watch out for the shockwave on top of it too. This is going to be very difficult for Ole Miss to defend. They need a cheeky pick here on to Surdy. Oh, he's just memeing on him right now, man.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Gwen is, after all, immune, and right now Skytech is baiting with his body. He does not care. He is not afraid. And Icelandic Hero will go down before any of the real action kicks off.
Hook, line, and sinker. You said it, RMC. The bait is successful, and now Ole Miss is down a man.
Skytech literally catfishing right now with the Tom Kench. Rhino goes in.
They're going down. Surdy going over to Rhino. Rhino's gonna fall. Stray can't do too much more. The bottom inhibitor will fall. 5 members of SLU strong, pounding on the Nexus turrets. Shogo watching his championship aspirations fall by the wayside. Nexus exposed. Surdy on top. SLU hates the way that you walk. They hate the way that you talk. They hate the way that you play. And they are moving on. Goodbye, Ole Miss.
St. Louis University fighting for their lives, and Yanni, one final test. SLU aced it.
Wow, they certainly did. It took every bit of brain power left to ace it. They had gone through, it was the night before, a 24-hour study session, and they looked at the first half of the test and it kicked their ass. The multiple choice section was not theirs, but when it came to the open-ended, they wrote, and they wrote, and they wrote themselves into the record books, the second ever CLOL reverse sweep.
And Yanni, you know what's even better? Both those teams who just pulled off a reverse sweep are gonna meet next weekend. Winthrop versus SLU.
How many games is that gonna go, RMC?
All the games, Yanni. We gotta get you on, or at least we gotta get a picture of you just hanging over the game for the maximal enjoyment, maximal energy in that game.
Man, what a series it was. SLU getting the job done. Many doubted them. I doubted them myself. But they managed to take it home. They win the series 3-2. The reverse sweep comes up huge. Surdy on tanks, I sleep. Surdy on carries, I'm wake.
100%. And you know what? For Ole Miss as well, hey, shout out to them because they made this series really, really close. And we say that about Surdy. We can say that about Stray too, right? His Rumble last game looked like night and day compared to the tank champions just put on throughout this series. Shogo, there's a reason why it's a Shogo, and he did lose. But some of the plays, this game 5 was a highlight reel for Shogo on that Zaya. How many times did he stand the lone man against the onslaught of SLU? Sure, sometimes he died, but more often than not, he stole them out. And for Ole Miss, this program has been so incredible. They are a new program. This is what, their second year, and already we're seeing such huge results from them. Icelandic Hero and your Uncle Sam as well. Sure, they had some bad points, but think back to game 1, game 2, Yanni. Those two were absolutely popping off.
They were going ballistic against the combo of Winnie and Darkwings. If you had told me that going in, I would have been like, oh my God, man, these guys are going crazy. But Winnie and Darkwings realized that they were Winnie and Darkwings. And Darkwings, especially in that last game, came up pretty huge. And ultimately, this is where Ole Miss story ends. But SLU's story is just beginning. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we will have an interview with the winning team, Aaron and the squad, to hear more about their story that is still ongoing. Welcome back, everybody, to Running the Rift's coverage of the Collegiate League of Legends Championship. You can see all the boys flexing over there. They got their shades on. The winning team, St. Louis University, in a reverse sweep. Congratulations, everybody. My first question to all of you. The floor is all of yours. You lost a close game 1. This was a game that I thought you guys should have won. How do you battle back from that mentally, knowing that in game 1, you might have given them one?
Honestly, I mean, it's been a rough week. Obviously, yesterday we had a pretty rough series. Scrims weren't going like the best, and some people had like some sickness issues. But like after first game, I know it was like a little hard to come back because we literally haven't won a game this weekend yet. So it's like, honestly, I mean, I was a little worried, but like I knew that at the end of the day, like when we come together as a 5, we are better than their 5. And yeah, I mean, it's been a really fun really fun time hanging out with these boys. These are my friends, like friends for life. So it's just like at the end of the day, we got their back in game, and we can always come back from anything. I believe that.
That's what CLOL is all about, man. You play with 4 other members of your team. You make lifelong bonds. You make college-age friends. You go and you beat some people up on the Rift and win some money while doing it. So in game 2, you guys read that lane swap like a book. You guys struggled a little bit with it yesterday, but today we're on top of it. Now, how does game 2 fall apart when you have that early advantage?
Game 2, I mean, I'll be honest, we're probably tilted still from the first game. But like,
fair.
Honestly, when it mattered the most, I think we came together, and we had, after the game 2 loss, we had a serious, I mean, not like serious, like we had a final talk, like going into this like last game, like it could be our last game together. So, I mean, Chu gave us a little pep talk, like had me pumped up, had me like dancing, and we were ready for game 3. I mean, like,
you guys certainly showed that you were ready for game 3. Was it a draft change, a mental change? Was it just an in-game change? How many changes occurred here? Because you started putting Surdy on his carry top laners, right?
Yeah.
You said, screw these tanks, man. We're going to try to win the game through everywhere.
I just think we adjusted pretty well. I mean, going into with our draft prep, we thought Cassante was the best pick for us for this lane swap, and then obviously the first 2 games fell apart. But going into game 3, I mean, bro,
You're saying too much.
bro,
We're still gonna pick Cassante.
bro. Okay,
That's
honestly,
my
all
bad.
right. Game 3, we just played better. Game 4, we played better, and game 5, we played better. No draft at all. Like, it had nothing to do with draft. All right, yay.
All right, you heard it here first. It was all hands, no brain. All right, so you're down 3,000 gold in game 4, and when it comes to potential reverse sweeps, it feels like game 4 is where it falls apart. You guys had a great scaling composition, but you guys weren't really done your scaling. How do you come back from that deficit and just turn it all around anyway?
I think all 5 of us have a clutch gene in our body, like a little ice in our veins. So I think like in those scenarios where it's like, okay, it's not looking too good. I mean, we're getting outscaled, but like once we make like one quick play, I'd say like Winston flashing on Shogo with on buy flash R, and we were able to kill him. Like I think those plays in the big moments, like you have to make and grow some balls, and like So I think I just think we just had bigger balls in the big plays. Balls.
Big
Without-
time players make
without-
big time plays, say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big time
big
players make big
players-
time plays.
Big players make big plays, and you guys are certainly big players. Now, in that last game, Ole Miss kind of came in and punched you all in the mouth a little bit. In the early game, they were the ones getting the kills. They were the ones ahead in gold. What happened in the middle of that game that just flipped the switch for you guys?
I think we just knew that it was like we knew that if we got to the team fighting and the late game macro, that we practiced this all week with our coach Deo, sign him to LCS, and like I don't know. I think just like once we got to that mid game place, we knew that we would be better than them. So we were confident, even though we weren't like up like 20 kills or something, or like 4 kills. But yeah.
This isn't really a final question, but you guys have gotten the job done, and now you have a date set with Winthrop. There's a reason why I brought all of you here. You all have the floor. Talk your shit.
All right. Anything to say to Winthrop?
Does anyone have something?
Bro, like what did I just? Am I muted?
No,
I got glasses
I'm
down.
still waiting.
All right, it's his turn.
I'm pretty sure after I made Denethor go like 0-60 in 3 different scrim sets, I denied him his chance at NACL. So now I'm going to deny him his chance at a CLOL championship.
Let's go.
That
Any words for Shoga?
is cold, bro.
What can I say? Frauds put on fraud watch. You're always going to lose.
Hey, they wrote us off, but we ain't right back.
Hey, they did. They did write you off. A lot of people did, but guess what? Y'all were the ones to get it done. St. Louis University moving on, staving off elimination, and with those shades looking good as hell doing it.
Beautiful, beautiful day.
Yeah,
shout
you
out,
know it, man.
shout out to my mom, and shout out to my girlfriend,
Oh yeah, happy Mother's Day.
and happy Mother Days to the moms out there, especially Shogos. All right, thanks for watching.
Ooh, well, that was certainly a way to cap off an interview. Thank you all, Aaron and Slew, very much for your time today. Congratulations on your victory, and good luck in the games ahead.
End the call.
Ends the call is right. What an interview these guys had. It was absolutely ridiculous. I think they might still even be in here. I don't know. There we go. Finally done. And we are finally done for the day here, RMC. What a fantastic slate of games we had. But we're still not done quite yet. We want to thank Running the Rift for allowing us to cover the Collegiate Championships on their Twitch channel. Please go follow them on Twitter. Big shout outs to Sherv and Rare Adam, who are a big part of the project. And now it is time to list off our donators of $100 or more: Lorenzo Muhammad, Garrett Meyerson, Benson Patterson, James Vanderbree, Gregory Adler, Polestar, Sandor House, Sean Shannon, Daniel Clerkey, Powell Weissman, Manuel Sanchez, Brandon Colomer, Gordo Casts, John Harakitas, hey, that's me, Leo Silverman, Shivneet Sharma, Angie Fan, Gavin Hung, Nathaniel Bertani, Timothy Bui, Ian Ford, Kyle Upgamer, Ryan Teo, hey, that's you, Aaron Lee, Alan Ignacio, Peter Erickson, Andrew Franklin, Tiffany Tran, Beverly Respico, and Joshua Sides, as well as every single anonymous donator. This amazing series would have gone uncovered if it was not for you. And we want to thank you so much for that. Please, if you have the opportunity to and the means to, continue to donate, because all of it goes back into the production. But that will be it for us here this evening over at Running the Rift. Special shout out to Caddy, Cinzia, Hawk, everybody behind the glass who are a huge part of putting on this production. We hope you enjoyed, and we hope to see you next week for some more CLOL action.